Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you enjoyed your bye week. A lot of things kind of fell right for the Bills while they weren't playing this past Sunday. A couple of teams in the AFC lost, most notably the Browns, the Chargers. Actually, you know what happened is the Bills are now the only one-loss team in the AFC. So you've already got the Jets at 4 losses, the Steelers at 4 losses, the Browns at 4 losses, the Titans, the Jaguars, the Chargers, the Rams. All these teams are at 4 losses already. So you have 3 up in the loss column on them, obviously being the only one-loss team. And, 11 games to go, favorable schedule, including Dolphins this week, which we will talk about, of course. We'll reflect on the Titans here in just a second, but you have every reason to be optimistic and to maybe even to say, like, hey, this team better make the playoffs. Like, I have the expectation now, maybe you as a fan, I'm not saying me specifically, and maybe even I do, to just be like, this is a playoff team. Like, anything less at this point is a failure. It's really kind of unacceptable. And I know that, like, teams will go on runs and things like, I don't know what's going on with the Chargers or really what's going on with the Browns. That looks like an offensive line issue. The Chargers, things just don't go right for Phillip Rivers. He's had the worst luck in his entire career, really, being the quarterback of that team. So, like, one of those teams could get hot. I'm not going to rule that out. I doubt it'll be Pittsburgh or Denver, or the Jets could. They have a favorable schedule as well, but the Bills have beat them once, and they're 3 up in the loss column. So, but with the Bills' favorable schedule, Miami twice, the Steelers, who you never really know, I guess. They get the Browns, the Broncos at home. So, I mean, the schedule, like I said, really favorable is really the best way to put it, because we're only a third of the way through the season. You don't really want to jump to conclusions, but that's more so if you're, like I've said in the past, that you're on the team. Like, if we're a fan of the team, you can't help but look ahead. You have to look ahead. Like, it's only natural to do that. And I mean, they're a 4-1 team. They're sitting in the number 1 wild card spot right now. Indy and Oakland right behind them at 3-2. So I mean, they're not out of the woods yet here. But I mean, maybe Oakland's the team that's likely to regress. Indy looks a lot better than people expected without luck. So, who knows where that goes, but you have every right to be optimistic about the Bills. You have every right to think that they're going to be 5-1 after this week and set themselves up in an even better position, with Philadelphia coming in the following week. But before that, let me reflect on what happened before the bye week, and that was obviously the Bills defeating the Tennessee Titans 14-7. First things first. Congratulations, to all the Bills fans that went. I was one of them. It was an absolute blast. I've never seen anything like it. I went to Charlotte in 2017, and I thought that was like a complete takeover. Doesn't hold a candle, really, to Nashville. It was just, I even tweeted this, just painted Bills Mafia. Just blue and red everywhere. And I know the Titans have blue and red in their colors, but no. Bills blue, Bills red, everywhere. Every bar, every floor, Bills fans. Everybody's got the logo. You're walking by whoever. It's go Bills, go Bills, go Bills, go Bills. There's a shout song in every bar. And the bartenders are, the bartenders and the people playing the music are doing the shout song, the hey, 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 and they're doing it wrong. They're just playing into it because you really have no choice but to. There were that many Bills fans there, and it made the game so much more fun. Loved it. Probably wouldn't drive. I drove this, but I would probably try to fly next time. But I would definitely go again. It was a real good experience. A really cool city. A really fun city. The game was, I don't want to call it boring because it had points of action and the Bills were dominating on defense, just absolutely dominant. But I mean, I guess my concern with the Bills, even if there's a concern at 4-1, it's that they've kind of played to the level of their opponent in every game, with maybe the exception of the Giants game, but they did let them get back to within 7 points. They played to the level of the Jets, they got by. They played better than the Giants, and they beat them. I'll give them that. They let the Bengals creep back into the game, who are now 0-6, and they almost lost. But they did come back and win, much to their credit. They hung with New England. They played to the level of Tennessee, who looks really bad. So, I mean, Mariota's done for them, right? Mariota is benched this week for Ryan Tannehill, so like that situation is over. And I mean, he wasn't good against the Bills. What did he do? Did he complete 13 passes or something? They had something like 91 yards in the first half, and 38 of those, they had two 38-yard drives that ended in missed field goals. Obviously, the 4 missed field goals were a thing. This is like kind of what I mean when you talk about luck. I mean, one of those field goals, I guess, got blocked and still barely missed, but that's kind of what I'm talking about with luck. So, like, one of those is a good job by the Bills to block that. The other 3 are flat-out misses. 2 of them are 3 are flat-out misses, and one of them was a really poor coaching decision by Mike Vrabel. Like, Tennessee Titans fans, you should not stand for that. That is a pathetic decision at the end of the game. There was, like, 6 and change to go, and you're down by a touchdown, and you have 4th and 5 or whatever it was, and you kick a field goal with a guy who's already missed 3, I think your winning percentage, like, honestly, like, your winning expectancy honestly goes down by making that field goal. By even attempting it, obviously does. Even by making it, I think it still goes down because you have to kick off. You have to give the ball to the other team. And granted, the Bills didn't make them pay right away, but and the Bills, I believe, went 3 and out themselves, only gained like a yard, took a minute off the clock, gave the ball right back. Bills get the 3 and out, then run the clock out, which I was super impressed by. Frank Gore didn't have that great of a game until the last drive, and wow, the guy is unbelievable. But you know, a lot of performances in that game to be excited about, namely Duke Williams. Duke Williams played so well, the Bills decided to trade Zay Jones literally the next day to the Raiders, and Zay, I appreciate it. I do. I wish we hadn't, I wish the Bills hadn't decided they wanted to trade up for him and give up other assets for him. But I guess I'm thinking maybe he just never was the same after that Carolina play. And it's a shame that it happened so early in his career, like literally like this was the second game. So, I mean, that's a shame. Like, I feel like he never really got the same player. Like, he was their best receiver for Allen last year, mainly because he had to be. Foster obviously being the other, who has been invisible but like maybe he now finds his way into the offense a little bit. Although, to be honest with you, I'm not so sure. With Duke Williams and Brown and Beasley obviously aren't coming off the field. Williams looks like a nice player, so Foster is, I think, still clearly the 4. I do think he'll see some snaps now that he's healthy and back. So, I mean, that's how the Bills got to 4-1. Covered a couple of things. Zay is gone. Duke Williams up. A lot of fans were happy about that. They were going nuts for him when he scored his touchdown. They did get a little bit banged up in Tennessee. Hopefully Matt Milano is okay to play. John Brown popped up on an injury report this week. They're both practicing in a limited capacity, so that's kind of good, I guess. It's better than them not practicing. But do they really need those players to beat the Dolphins? I would hope not. Really would hope not. But they should be getting Devin Singletary back. Tyler Kroft looks like he might play finally for the first time this season. And that position, even though there were a couple drops this past Sunday against Tennessee, it's looking like it's really kind of becoming like a real position of depth for the Bills. Like, Sweeney looks like he can play snaps for you. Knox looks like he can play snaps for you. And hopefully Kroft shows that he can be a useful asset in the offense for Josh Allen. I just want to see this week against the Dolphins, as we transition into that, it should be easy. I think the Dolphins came here the year they went 1-15. Granted, that was years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. I believe they went 1-15. They were 0-12. I think Trent Edwards was the quarterback, and the Bills beat them like 38-17. Just do that. Fred ran for 100. Marshawn ran for 100. Just do that. A couple of years ago, the Browns, I believe their 0-16 season, they came to Buffalo late in the year. They were like 0-12 or 0-13 or something, and the Bills won like 33-13 or something. Like that. It's how it should be. That's how this Sunday should be. No playing to the level of the Dolphins, because the Dolphins are not good, obviously. They're historically bad, in fact. They're allowing 36 points per game, dead last in the NFL, dead last in yards per game, 440 almost, dead last in yards per play, second last in first downs per game allowed, third last in third down percentage. Like, they are bad. They might not even have Rashad Jones on Sunday, who's probably at least their second best player on defense, I would say, next to Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard's a nice player. Bobby McCain's a nice player. I like some of their defensive linemen in Charlton, in Wilkins, in Godchaux. Like, these are okay players, but like, these guys aren't moving needles for you. Like, Avery Moss might not play. He's been a starter for them, but like, impactful, I don't really know. Like, who's been impactful for them? They traded Minka Fitzpatrick. Looks like they might trade Kenyon Drake on offense. Will he even play on Sunday? I'm honestly not sure, because they're talking about trading him. He's in a contract year, not even close on the extension reportedly. They talked to him about it, and they're like, no. And so, Miami, Florida cannot keep players, make players interested in staying there. Miami, Florida, destination of the NFL. Nobody wants to really be there. They're going back to Fitzpatrick over Rosen this week, so, I mean, that's cool, I guess. I wouldn't be super worried about Fitz magic happening. I get why you would be nervous, just basically from the standpoint that, like, we can't be the team that loses to these guys, especially at home. The Bills are 16.5-point favorites. The Dolphins haven't scored more than 16 points in a game. They really almost won against the Redskins, but then they come out with this 2-point play that's supposedly for Mark Walton, who's been a nice up-and-coming player for them. That's another reason they might trade Drake. And I don't remember, now I can't remember if it was for Balaj or Drake. I think it was for Drake that they ran the play to, and he just dropped it. And, like, so the Dolphins are probably planning on being taken lightly. Fitz, I'm sure, Ryan Fitzpatrick, is probably playing that card with them in the locker room. That how it means something to him because he used to play here and whatnot. And I mean, I just don't buy it. You haven't scored more than 16 points. You got to 20 first downs for the first time all season this past week against the Redskins, who were 0-5 at the time, too. I mean, you've allowed 59, 43, 31, 30, and then 17 to a team that hadn't won a game. So hopefully the Bills, who have been very good in their own right, haven't allowed more than 17 points per game. If the Bills haven't allowed more than 17 and the Dolphins haven't allowed more than haven't scored more than 16, how should they, like, just do the math? This should work. This is how football should make sense like this. The Bills, 16.5-point favorites, can't even remember a time where they were anything like that. I just want to see the offense. I want to see it look easy, just gain yards, win the game, get out of it healthy. Am I taking it lightly as a fan? Kind of. This should be the easiest game on the schedule. They will never be favored by as much all season. This should be the easiest game on the schedule for the Bills. Obviously, I'm going to pick them to win. I think I'm going to say, just make it easy, Josh and co. 31-13 Bills. They cover. 31-13. I'm giving the Dolphins 13 points against the Bills' defense. Maybe it's 31-6 and they catch a late garbage time touchdown. I don't know. Like I said, the bottom line, I just want it to be easy. Guys, if you're looking ahead, I don't blame you. Like, if the Bills get to 5-1 and then they play the Eagles, which really in the landscape of AFC tiebreakers and whatnot means nothing, but it could be a game, in the win or loss column, obviously, that matters. So, I mean, the Bills should be 5-1 after this week. And then we're talking about maybe 6-1 against the Eagles. Like, holy moly. And then you get the Redskins at home. Let's try to take it one game at a time, but you should have the full expectations that the Bills are 5-1 after this week. There's no excuse that they should lose to the Dolphins. Anyway, I want to thank you guys, as always, for coming this far in the video. Shout out to the guy who keeps ragging on me for making predictions and whatnot. I just do this for fun. Dude! Do it for fun because I get a couple hundred views and people seem to like it. I interact. I've met some really cool people. So, really, I want more. I hope there's more. Hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter handle and YouTube username are the same. Happy to meet all of you. And you guys know where to look for me on Sundays. Some of you do, some of you don't, but figure it out. Follow me on Twitter, you figure it out. Have a good weekend, guys. As always, above all else, go Bills.